Okay, so I was born here in Michigan, but both my parents were born in Bolivia, so that makes me Bolivian descendant. My lifestyle here in the U.S. is very different than the lifestyle back home in Bolivia. Like, the daily lifestyle is a completely different change. It's more family orientated, and much people are more outgoing and welcoming than opposed to here, for the most part. Well, college is always a must for me. Everyone in my family went to college. I think it's very important to go to college to obtain an education, and my goal for it was I didn't want to depend on anyone. So that's my goal out of college. I don't have to depend on like a guy and expect, you know, out of marriage to like have to depend on him. Not that that's bad, but like for me personally, I prefer to be independent, and I don't want to have to rely on my parents either. And if possible, I would like to reverse it and help my parents out financially. And the only way I can do that is to get an education and go to college, unless I win the lottery. I'm studying health sciences, and I chose that because I have a lot of options within that. Like, for instance, I could go to pharmacy school, which is my main focus. That's what I'm leaning towards. But if I wanted to, I could also go to med school, or I could go into being like what's the name for it? A nutritionist, or I have several options with it. So that's why I chose it. Okay, so HALO stands for Hispanic American Leadership Organization, and what I like about HALO is, well, the Hispanic community at Oakland University is somewhat small, as in to ratio with the Hispanics in general in Michigan, compared to like states like, you know, California and in the South like Florida. So I feel like it kind of unites us. At the same time, it's not limited to Hispanic students. So really anyone of any race is able to join HALO. So I feel like it also makes students at Oakland University aware of Hispanic culture, which we have done in the past with salsa nights and other events, you know, showing students what Day of the Dead is, Dia de los Muertos, and other events like that. And not only that, it brings also opportunities to Hispanics and other students involved in HALO, like scholarship opportunities and what else? Volunteering opportunities, internships, jobs, and, you know, things like that. So that's what HALO has to offer for students. It was very important to me because I had a very strong, and I still do, a strong passion for like my culture. And I would like other people to know about it, as I like to know about other cultures as well. I think it's a great thing, you know, to have diversity, and I like that HALO is a part of that, and I wanted to be the leader of that. So that's what I liked about it. No one in specific, just being in my science classes, I've met some friends and acquaintances, and I've asked for some advice, as well as some counselors here, just basically asking around. And because originally I was a bio major, so I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do, so I chose health sciences, so it's a more safe choice, I guess. Okay. Yes, I am aware that there aren't many Latinas in that field, but I do notice that more Latinas are attending college, so I find that inspiring, and there are several Latinas who have become successful, who have attended college, and I'm also grateful for an opportunity to be attending OU and to have the same opportunities as them. Okay, good. Oh yes, of course I do. I feel like it's an easier access for Latinas to be aware of other scholarship opportunities and basically any opportunities in general. And it's nice to be able to get in contact with people within your own community, and I feel like it's an easier way to like reach out to other Latinas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I faced many challenges with that all throughout in the beginning, you know, and now, and I'm sure I will in the future as well. Because both my parents attended a college in Bolivia, so really I was like the first one to attend college here, and there's lots of different rules and regulations, and it's not really clear and it's not out there like that. Like, I didn't know that freshman and sophomore students pay less money than junior and senior students. So when I transferred some classes in the middle of a year, when I was a sophomore, that technically made me a junior, and then I had to pay an extra $1,000 when there was only a week left of school, because I was like a junior now versus being a sophomore. So if I had waited, I would have saved that money. Other things I didn't know is that I attended some classes at OCC at the same time I was attending here. And I had a scholarship which required me to be full-time. Technically I was full-time according to the amount of credits I was taking. But I wasn't a full-time student at OU specifically, so I lost that scholarship. Luckily I was able to find out about this retention fund, and basically it's like you're granted up to $1,000 based on like one specific need. So I used that as like my specific need to pay for my school, so I was granted that, but I had to go looking for that on my own. What else was there? Also, originally when I first applied and attended OU, I asked for if there were any diversity scholarships, and they kind of left me on my own, saying like you have to search it. There are some on their website, but I couldn't find anything specifically to it. After that, a year later, I found out that there was for minorities a scholarship, and you had to have at least a 3.0, and I believe you needed to no, I don't think that was one of the requirements either, but you needed to be you need to have at least a 3.0, and you need to be a freshman. I was eligible for it, but I wasn't a freshman anymore, so I wasn't able to apply for it. But it's also available to transfer students. So I wish there was like maybe a little seminar or some kind of website indicating, you know, the do's and do nots before I attended college, which would have been really nice.
Oh, wow.
I would recommend him to attend a community college at first. Like, for health sciences, I needed theater as a requirement, music requirements, history requirements, and other requirements like that, which versus spending like thousands of dollars for, you can pay hundreds of dollars at a community college and then transfer. And that would have been very helpful, so I recommend him to do that. I feel like it's also a good stepping stone, going from high school to a community college and then to a university as well. It helps prepare you for it. But I would also recommend him to save some of his gen eds for the end, because if you do them all in the beginning, then you're going to be left with all these hard classes in the very end, you know, your senior year in college. So there has to be some kind of balance, for sure.
Good idea.
Found some professors were more helpful. I have a Spanish minor, and Cecilia Sanzrobi, she helped me out a lot with my minor and with Halo. She's the advisor of Halo, actually. But for the most part, the way that counselors work is there are like about four, give or take, counselors per major. So it goes on like first come, first served basis. So you sign up, or you go during the walk-ins, and then you're assigned to whichever one is available, whichever counselor is available. Counselors were helpful with registering for classes and with tips. So yeah, that was helpful. Well, 5 years from now, I hope to be already graduated from my pharmacy school and making a living for myself and for my family. And with Latinas, I see more Latinas attending school, as I feel like for a majority of Hispanic countries, not all, that it's not as big of a requirement for Latinas to get an education, because it's more common for Latinas to be like a housewife and take care of the kids, which I personally like that, but I think you can still get an education beforehand, or because it is much harder to do it while you have kids and all of that. But I do think education is more important, and it's more important here to make a living for yourself so you don't have to depend on anyone. And it also having an education brings opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think estalatina.com is a great website, and I feel like it's a good support website for Latinas. And yeah, given that I am in the chica stage, everyone's always going to have obstacles all throughout their life. So I have obstacles now, so it'd be good to reach out to and you know, obtain information and tips from other chicas.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I get to the mujer stage, you know, it's nice to know that I have a place where I can directly look for information, help, and guidance. And you know, you live and you learn, so I can give back as well as I'm learning through it. I think it's a good way to best avoid learning things the hard way. So that's what I like about that.
Great. Thank you.